everyone, Once Upon a Witch here, and today we're going to be making spell jars. You can use these just to keep in your home, or you can use them as a necklace, or you could put them in your car to hang from the rear view mirror. I've already made two of them. I don't have the other one, it's in Trevor's car, but this is the one I made for my necklace, and it has my birthstone, my initial for my last name, and this one has dill, clove, and basil. And for the ones I'm making, these are for my coworkers. This one will be a love spell jar, and this one will be for protection and kind of anti-stress. My coworker's been really stressed out, so I'll just kind of help clear out any negativity for that one. And so for this one, the first one we'll be making, it's going to have 4 ingredients, and I use this book a lot, the Cunningham's Book of Magical Herbs, or Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And it gives you a lot of great information and detail about the different plants and their elements. So I'm going to be using a hibiscus, I think that's how you say it, cinnamon, lavender, and vervain for hers. And hibiscus is a feminine plant with water as its sign. And it's said that if you make a tea of this, it's like a really strong red tea, that it's very powerful for love potions. And apparently Egypt at one point banned it because of that reason. So you'll want to have a jar or a bowl underneath when you're doing this, because it can get kind of messy. And you'll drop a lot into the bowl. So this will just help you keep everything in place while you're trying to get the herbs into the jar. So that way they don't go flying across the table or something. And I'm just going to add a little bit of each ingredient and then see if I can add more, since these are pretty small jars. So we'll move on to cinnamon, which is a masculine energy and a fire sign. And this cinnamon I got just from the cinnamon sticks. I used our Ninja blender to just kind of chop it up into smaller pieces. And I think it smells better and it just looks better for magical purposes if you use it from the cinnamon stick instead of just buying it crushed or blended from the store. And this one will probably be a little bit more difficult to work with because it's so flaky. And cinnamon's used for lust and love potions, so that's why I'm using that. The next ingredient will be lavender, which is a masculine energy as well. And this one is an air sign. So I actually found, when I thought of what I wanted to put in here, that this balanced out, because there's feminine, masculine, masculine, and feminine for vervain. So, since the lavender sticks are really big, I'll probably break them up into smaller ones, or just use the petals. Now what I'll probably end up doing is, now that a lot of the herbs have fallen into the bowl, I'll probably just use the bowl to get it all into my palm, and then just kind of redo it that way. So it's already mixed up. And then you can just kind of sift it into your palm. the bigger jars are a lot easier to use, and this one that I got was like the $6 half off, so it was only $3 from Hobby Lobby, and it comes with 9 different jars. So there's a lot of different sizes you can use. And then before I seal the jar, it's not going to be permanently sealed because I want these to be something that you can change out the herbs depending on the situation. But I'm just going to put the cork in the top. And that way you can kind of smell it throughout the day as well, if you want to. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty small. But before I seal it off, I'm going to just do a smudge in the area just to cleanse it out of any negativity. And then I put it back into this seashell at the end and just kind of cuts out the smoke pretty quickly. I think I got this at TJ Maxx. And you can also just use a bell for the same thing. It just cleanses out any negative vibrations of the area. And I just kind of put it over the flames to give it some energy from the fire. And then you can just seal it off with the cork. You could also add oil if you want, and then seal it off really tight. So that way it just kind of flows around more. But for these ones, since I'm going to be changing out the ingredients at some point, then I'm just going to leave it as it is. You can also use, if you're making it into a necklace or something for your car, you can use hemp string or any other kind of string you'd like to use. I just prefer using this hemp cord because it just is pretty good for necklaces. It's a good quality. Now, and then to measure it before you cut it, you can just grab one of the ends, put it around the base of your neck, and then you can see how far out you want it to go. So probably want it to go about the same as this one. And then you'll want to do just a little bit extra so you can tie it off. And then you'll want to get with these ones, it has a little lip at the bottom of the top of the jar. So like in between the top and bottom of the jar, there's this little edge. So that's where you'll be putting the string. And you want to make sure that you get it halfway. So you just kind of pinch it in the middle and make sure that the ends are lined up. And then pinch this spot where you're going to be doing the middle, so you can keep track of where it's at. And then you can just grab on, wrap it around here, and then you'll make a double knot. And I always suck at this part. Another thing I did the first time I did it, actually, I forgot about this, but I actually just kind of made the knot and then checked to see if it was in the middle or not before I actually put it on. And that kind of helped so that it wouldn't come off as easily. So you can just kind of rearrange the knot to the center like that. See how there's the knot at the top? So then you just slip over the middle and tighten it up. And then it will be easier to do the second knot so that it stays on. Okay, see, look, and now it just hangs up by itself. It'll Once you start wearing it, it'll actually just kind of slant to the side a little bit, but it definitely won't be as crooked as it is when you first do it. Another thing you could do if you want is you can get those little screws um, that go into anything like a wall screw, and they have a little hook that goes all the way around the top. You could actually screw that into the cork and then just loop the string through that. And that way it makes it a little bit easier and it doesn't slant to the side. Um, I just didn't have any of those with me at this time, so I might do that for future ones, but I don't mind how it is when it slants a little bit to the side. I just think it looks kind of cool. Okay, so now you can also add some beads if you want to the strings. So I'm just going to add a few beads for this one. For now, I might add more like feathers, things like that to it later, but looks pretty good. So then you just tie off the ends up here at the top in a square knot. And that way it just doesn't come undone. Make sure you do your knot really well. It doesn't have to be a square knot, but just a really tight knot. And then if you want to, you can glue it so that the knot stays in place better. But I haven't had it ever come apart so far. And then you can just trim off the edges of the knot. And I'm not going to show you the other one since you already know how to make it, but I'm just going to talk about what I'll be putting in there for the protective one. This one I'm going to be using clove, which is masculine fire, basil, also masculine fire, dill, masculine fire, and rosemary, masculine fire. So it's very fiery, and so that's why it's good for protection. So the clove will be for producing spiritual vibration and protection. Basil is known for, if you can put a small amount throughout your house, it helps protect your home. And in the book, Scott Cunningham's book, it does say that where it lies, no evil may reside. You can also use dill for hanging over your door, but since we're using it as a necklace, it's kind of hanging over yourself. So you're the door, I guess. And so it just protects you there. And then rosemary aids memory and youth. So since it's for one of my older coworkers, she's just gets kind of stressed out with all these things from work. So I'm helping her out with the rosemary because I think it will just help her remember things, not get so flustered with certain things that she comes across with our job. So hopefully that helps her out. I will also be adding in, oh, I think I forgot the vervain for this one, so I'll add that one into here. But yeah, if you guys make your own, let me know how it works in the comments below. Okay, so these are the final products. This one is the protection one. I put a little bit of salt in there as well. And then this is the love one. And I might add more feathers to it, but for now, they look good. So I'm just going to leave it like that and give them to my coworkers today. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, blessed be.